know each other through work. Okay, one of them is actually my friend, and the other is just a guy I know from work. But we're all sort of friendly. We've been working together a long time. We know each other a long time. We're no longer working together, but, we're like old friends. We all follow each other on all social media.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, this is one of these situations where here we are in 2020 and people have different political opinions, but you just sort of, you know your friends, you know what they think, and you just go, he's my friend anyway. I'm not going to make it about politics because, in years from now, politics won't matter. Friendship will.
Mm-hmm.
So I just got a text from one of my friends who posted something political on Twitter, and our other friend is trolling him. Just like wrote this big long, went after him like a troll would, not like a friend would. He didn't text him personally.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's freaking weird. I mean, I know people are upset, but that's your friend. So they've both come to me. So the one guy's like, oh man, can you believe he posted that? And the other guy's like, can you believe he's trolling me?
So now you got to pick a side.
I don't know how to handle this. I want to say to both of them, gentlemen, you're both beautiful. You're both pretty.
Grow up. Stop it.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like saying to the one who's trolling, everyone has their opinion. Your opinions are different. This is nothing new. You've always known this. You're publicly trolling him.
Mm-hmm.
That's bleh.
Yeah, I don't think you can get involved because people are so one way or another. You getting involved is going to piss one of them off really bad.
But this is forget about politics. This feels like high school to me. I'm telling you, my whole life was triangles. Love triangles. And, it started here. This is going to get really deep for a second. Okay, so it started because my parents got divorced, but while they were divorcing, they hated each other. But obviously they loved me. And each one of them talked to me about the other one. So it was always like this triangle. And I'm an only child.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So my mother would tell me things about my father, and my father would tell me things about my mother. And I wouldn't go back to my mother, and I wouldn't go back to my father. So I would just sort of sit back and be like, yeah, it sucks. Yeah, she's a bitch. Yeah, it sucks. He's an ass. You know what I mean? What am I going to say? I'm not getting involved. So every relationship I've had has sort of mirrored that. I had two best friends in all growing up and then in high school. And they would always put me in the middle. Whenever they had a fight, Marnie would call me and be like, Debbie said blah, blah, blah. And Debbie would call and be like, can you believe Marnie is blah, blah, blah?
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be in the middle of the two of them all the time. So I feel like this is a position that I have been born into, the middle person in a situation.
Okay.
And here I am again.
Did anything happen with the Marty thing in the end? You probably aren't friends with either one of them now.
I am friends with one of them.
One of them. Because you got involved.
We are both not friends. We're both not friends with the third.
Right. So you can't get in between them. You got to let them just
Oh my
go.
God, wait. And my mother and I are best friends, and I haven't spoken to my biological father in over 20 years. So I picked a side there too. Wow.
Yeah,
this is like therapy. I don't need a therapist. I have you.
So you got to pick which one that you want to stay friends with and take that side.
I'm going to take the side of the guy who I like better. He and I have differing political opinions, but I don't care. I like him more and I respect him more.
Is he the one that got trolled, or is he the trollee?
The one who got trolled.
Okay, so it's easy to pick the other side against the other guy.
I'm picking the guy who got trolled, even though he and I have different political views.
Okay.
I'm picking him.
Got it. So throwing the other guy under the bus is not that hard because he did the trolling. So you can easily pick that side.
Right, exactly. And again, here I am. Oh my God, I love how this is more than just, anybody else would have never mentioned this, but this is like my thing. This is like the situation I always find myself in. And you and I just figured out where it comes from.
Yeah,
so deep.
Your Hair Mary and your Charlotte Mary got into a fight.
Yes, that's right.
And you had the
best GBFs. That's
right. And you had to pick a side. And you picked a side.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't ever look back.
That's right.
So
I haven't spoken to Charlotte Mary in years, and Hair Mary is my best friend.
Exactly. So you had to pick a side. You couldn't be you couldn't be California. You couldn't be just not having a side. You had to pick a side. So this one, I think you have to pick a side too. You can't be California.
You and I, for a long time, had a third person working on the show. Let's never do that again.
And I haven't spoken to him since I left.
So you picked a side.
I picked a side. Yeah.
Thank God it was me.
I mean, and I think I put something on Facebook because he was moving. And I said some smart ass comment or something, but I never really talked to him.
What a shock.
Yeah, I didn't like talk to him. I haven't spoken a word to him since pretty much he left the show.
How come we got to pick a side? Like, why do you have to pick a side when you're in between two people? Like, what happens if you just say, I know, I'm Switzerland. I'm nothing to do with either one. I feel like then they both resent you. Then you know what happens then? Then they both become best friends again and they stop talking to you. You're the odd man out.
Right, because you backed away. You wouldn't take a side. You have to take a side.
Right, otherwise you lose both of them.
And they might not be friends in the future. They could be enemies, and then now you're enemies with both of them. All three of you lose.
Right. Okay, so let that be a lesson to you. Anyone who's listening right now that's thinking to themselves, I can relate to that. I've been in a situation like that where I had to pick a side and I didn't. Well, shame on you. You should pick a side, otherwise you lose both.
Right. Look back at that relationship now, and you don't have a relationship with either one of them because you didn't pick a side.
Right.
Grow some hair, pick a side.
Right. I am team Jennifer Aniston. Screw Angelina.
Right.
I'm definitely, so I pick a side no matter what's going on, whether anyone asks me or not. I always have a side. I'm team Edward, Twilight, nobody cares. But I'm just saying, like, I've always picked a side. That's just what I do.
Okay, let's say you were friends with Jennifer Aniston and Angelina Jolie, and you said, I'm not picking a side. I'm just going to let you guys figure it out. You wouldn't be friends with either one of them because what Angelina Jolie did was unforgivable.
Yeah, I'm Team Jen all day long.
So there you go. You have to pick a side. I'm sorry.
Got to pick a side.